The significance of advancement in transcendental knowledge and detachment from material attraction is exhibited in the personality of a highly advanced devotee. For him, there is nothing agreeable or disagreeable because he does not act in any way for his personal sense gratification. Whatever he does, whatever he thinks, is for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead. Either in the material world or in the spiritual world, his equipoised mind is completely manifested. He can understand that in the material world there is nothing good, everything is bad, due to its being contaminated by material nature. The materialists' conclusions of good and bad, moral and immoral, etc., are simply mental concoction or sentiment. Actually, there is nothing good in the material world. In the spiritual field, everything is absolutely good. There is no inebriety in the spiritual varieties because the devotee accepts everything in spiritual vision. He is equipoised. That is the symptom of his being elevated to the transcendental position. He automatically attains detachment, vairagya, then jnana, knowledge, and then actual transcendental knowledge. The conclusion is that an advanced devotee dovetails himself in the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and in that sense he becomes qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So continuing with teachings of Lord Kapila to Mother Devahuti, this chapter, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kapila is advising his mother on various aspects of devotional service, how a human being, when he comes to this material world, gets entangled in various fruitive activities, and what is the path to get freed from this entanglement. And in some of the previous verses, he said, "My dear mother, I therefore advise you to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." That is the path. And how we should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? With all devotion and love. That is very important. That is the way to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with devotion and love. And when we do that, then we can be situated in transcendental devotional service. And in this verse, he is saying that the exalted devotee's mind becomes equipoised in sensory activities. Mind becomes equipoised, means the mind is not disturbed. Right now our mind is not sthira, it is not equipoised. It quickly becomes disturbed by different sensory activities. If it's, different kinds of things that we do, we interact with. If it is good, I get disturbed. If it is good, I become happy. If it is bad, I get disturbed. So for a devotee, samaha, sukha, dukha, samihi, he is equipoised. And he says that a devotee becomes transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable. So what does it mean that a devotee becomes transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable? Agreeable priyam and not agreeable apriyam. So Prabhupada is explaining in the purport of what it means for a devotee to be transcendental to that which is agreeable or not agreeable. For him there is nothing agreeable or disagreeable because he does not act in any way for his personal sense gratification. So this is the meaning of agreeable or not agreeable. Generally, in the material sense, if something you have to do or you come across something, we will always judge. We will analyze and then we will say, yes, I am okay with this, or yes, I am not okay with this. You agree to some things, you don't agree to something, isn't it? So why that I agree to something or I don't agree to something is because I am seeing that situation from my material perspective. I will agree to certain things if my senses are gratified, if I am satisfied on a material plane. And if I feel that no, this is not right as per my thinking, and mind is right now, contaminated, then it will not be agreeable. So agreeable or not agreeable. But when I see that whatever is coming across in my way in my devotional service is all for the service of Krishna, then there's no question of being agreeable or not agreeable, because it has to be good because it is for Krishna. Just like the mother, when she is serving the child, there will be so many things which may not be very pleasing and agreeable for the mother from the material perspective. But whether it is agreeable or not agreeable, the mother knows that if I do this, it is for the good of the child. She may have to clean the child. Why? Because the focus is child's benefit, and that is what is important to her. So in the same way, in our devotional service, if our focus is always that this is for Krishna, then you see there will be so nice mood in our devotional service. Otherwise, and why it is not agreeable or agreeable, why are we not transcendental to that which is agreeable or not agreeable? Because he writes, Prabhupada writing, because we are acting for our personal sense gratification. We all want to enjoy our senses. So, what is sense enjoyment? Of course, many times we have heard and we have seen sense enjoyment. We all want to enjoy our senses. So, Krishna consciousness doesn't say that you cannot enjoy your senses. Enjoying our senses, material sense enjoyment, is what is called sense gratification. But transcendental sense enjoyment means when I am focused in my seva to the Lord, then definitely there will be enjoyment. It is that enjoyment that Bhagavatam is talking about. Many times people think that you don't enjoy your senses, you all give up everything. No, actually we enjoy our senses much more than what a materialist would enjoy his senses. That's why we are all here. Why are we here unless and until we find happiness in Krishna consciousness? So there is transcendental happiness. Material sense enjoyment means only eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And we know Bhagavatam says that Mahabharata says that ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanam etat pashubhi naranam, it is equal to pashun dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hinaha pashubhi samanaha. So sense enjoyment, scriptures are comparing it to be like an animal. In one purport, in one place, Prabhupada is giving a very nice, he uses some words which really strike us, how we are being compared to like animals when we engage in material sense gratification. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. So there is one verse which says, Vishaya trisho. Trisho means you are hankering. Eager, trishna, that eagerness. So, Vishaya trisho, if you are eager for Vishayaha, then Nara Pashavo. Vishaya trisho, Nara Pashavo. That means Nara, this human being, is like a Pashavaha if he is Trisha, eager for Vishayaha. And in the word-to-word meaning, in the translation and in the purport, Prabhupada is, giving different, very nicely is explaining. So, in the word-to-word meaning, Prabhupada is explaining, Nara Pashavaha, he says, man-like animals, if you are engaging in sense gratification. We are animals only, just man-like. And in the translation, Prabhupada writes, we are animals in the human form of life. You see, there's absolutely no difference, just that we have this body called the human being. We are animals in the human form of life. And then further in the Purport, Prabhupada is writing, Narapashava, he is explaining that those who are only engaged in sense gratifications are in the shape of humans but acting like animals. We have a shape, this human body has a shape. So we are in the shape of humans but acting like animals. So imagine man-like animals, animals in the human form of life, and shape of humans but acting like animals. This is called Vishaya Trisho Narapashavo. And that's why elsewhere also we human beings are sometimes described as Dvipada Pashu. Dvipada Pashu means we have a Pashu which is Chatushpada and we are two-legged animals. So this is how the scriptures compare human beings who are engaged in sense gratification. Practically on the animal platform. So this is one of why. Now you may think that, oh, this is a very strong comparison. What is this? Why is it like this? So why are they doing like this? Why are the scriptures saying that, Narapashava? Why are they saying? Because we have to understand that sense gratification is available in all species of life. And it is specially more enjoyable in the animal species. Prabhupada gives so many examples like the pigeons, the birds, and so many other animals have a greater sense enjoyment than the human beings. So because sense enjoyment is available in all forms of life, it should strike us. So then why I have taken birth as a human in the human form? Because in the human form I have something which is not there in the human form which is not there in the animal form of life. And that something is Krishna consciousness. But unfortunately, because of our conditioning, we are getting attracted to sense gratification. So that's why a devotee prays to the Lord, my dear Lord, please take me out of the sense gratification. Please engage me in your devotional service. I have too much attraction for sense gratification. We are trying with our chanting, with our reading, and with so many things. So a devotee just cries out to the Lord, please help me. If the devotee genuinely, if the devotee understands that yes, I am entangled and my only savior is the Supreme Lord, and prays to the Supreme Lord, a heartful prayer, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, Vishaya je priti ebe achaye amara. He's praying Vishaya je priti. I have got priti. I have got lot of like for Vishaya, for sense gratification. Vishaya je priti ebe achaye amara. I have. Shei mate priti hok charane tomara. In the kind of attraction that I have for sense gratification, my Lord, my prayer is Shei mate priti. That same kind of attachment, attraction, be there for your lotus feet, charane tomara. So one nice prayer for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Like that, there are so many prayers available in the scriptures. In another place, it is said, when we call of sense enjoyment, sense attraction, the prayer that Prabhupada many a times quoted was, Yuvatinam yatha yuni, yunam cha yuvato yatha. Mano bhi ramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvai. Yuvatinam yatha yuni yunam. Yuvati means a girl. Yuvatinam yatha yuni. Yuni means a boy. So just like the minds of young girls are attracted to young boys, and minds of young boys are attracted to young girls, it's very natural. It's a natural attraction in this stage. So the devotee is praying, Mano bhi ramate tadvan. In the same way, let my mind, ramate, be attracted, tadvan, towards you, towards your lotus feet. Mano me ramatam tvai. Let my mind take pleasure only in your lotus feet. So these are the kinds of prayers that we should offer to the Supreme Lord when we see that, this material energy is pulling us. Material energy is very, very powerful, and we are struggling. But if we surrender to the Lord, sincerely engage in devotional service, sincerely pray to the Supreme Lord, then it is possible Krishna will protect us. So, here further, it is said that a devotee does not act in any way for his personal sense gratification. So, how does he act? Whatever he does, whatever he thinks, it is for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead. So, this is the understanding of a devotee, always wanting to satisfy the Lord. If this thing is there, if I am doing anything, I will check. The check is, if by doing this will I please the Lord? And if that much, yes, this action is going to please the Lord, and then I will do it, then the Lord will be happy. And if I am doing something that is not going to please the Lord, then to think whether this is good or bad is simply a mental concoction. It is bad. So here further Prabhupada is writing, he can understand that in the material world there is nothing good, everything is bad, due to its being contaminated by material nature. The materialist's conclusion of good and bad, moral and immoral, are simply mental concoction or sentiment. Actually, there is nothing good in the material world. So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that verse is there which explains nicely. In this material world of duality, it's called Dvaite. Dvaite means this Dvaita, two, good, bad. Everything is two in this material world. So Dvaite, Bhadra, Abhadra, Gyan, the knowledge of something is good, something is bad in this material world, it is said, Sab Mano Dharma. This is all mental concoction. That this is good, this is bad. Ei bhalo, ei manda. That this is good, this is bad. Ei sab brahma. Everything is bad. Like sometimes Prabhupada gave an example of the wet stool and the dry stool. Whether it's a wet stool or the dry stool. Stool is stool. There's no point in saying this is good or this is bad. So, if we are just thinking on a material plane, whether this is good, whether that is bad, there's no point. It is bad because on the material plane, it's not going to lead us anywhere. If it's on a spiritual plane, if it's for Krishna, then everything is good. And if it is on a material plane, then everything is bad. There's no point of thinking whether it is good or whether it is bad. Just like, for example, in the dream, you may have a very nice dream or you may get a very bad dream. But whether it's a nice dream or a bad dream, it doesn't really matter. Of course, if you get some spiritual dream and some, then it's a different matter. But on a material plane, whether it's, it's bad or good, it doesn't make any difference. But yes, if it's connected to Krishna, it is all good. So that is how we must test. Just like Prabodhananda Saraswati, he is saying, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Very wonderful. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. He says the whole world is very, very, nice. We here, first thing that we pray every day, Samsara Dava, Dava Anala. Samsara, this material world is like like a forest fire. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in the first verse says, Chetodar Bhava Mahadavagni. But here this devotee, Prabodhananda Saraswati, is praying, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. He's saying, no, for him he says, the whole world is full of happiness. Why? Because he's thinking about the Supreme Lord, he's thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's thinking that because I have received a drop of mercy from the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I find everything very nice. So actually you see the material world is good, is bad. It is bad if there is no Krishna and is nothing connected if we do not think of Krishna, but it is all good if it is with Krishna. So to understand, one lecture I was reading, Prabhupada was quoting, and then I just remembered of what is happening. Last few days we have been seeing the state of Indian politics. and the elections that's going on in different parts of the country. So to understand this ei bhalo, ei manda, we can apply this, we'll understand very easily about Indian politics. So we're seeing in some state, one party comes to power one term, and next term, that party is out of power and the next party comes in power. And then in the next term, that party which was out of power the previous term comes back in power. So what does this mean? We are thinking that, no, this time this party is good, vote this party. And then next term we will think, no, this party was not good, vote that party. Because we are thinking this party is good, that party is not good. But actually, whether this party comes to power or that party comes to power, our situation is the same. Our situation has not changed. The suffering is still there, the price rise is still there, and the tribulations are also going on. So that is what, in the material plane, everything is bad. Prabhupada said that what is real good? Real good is he has forgotten God. Revive his consciousness. That is real good. Then he will be saved from the so-called good and bad of everything that is wanted. So forgetting God is the bad, and remembering God is the good. Otherwise, everything is bad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said something, he said the same thing, that, there is nothing good or bad in the material world. Everything is bad. The only one thing good that we have is that we have an opportunity to connect with Krishna. We have an opportunity to remember Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna, so we should be very eager to hear about Krishna. So by hearing about Krishna, all this good or bad of the material world can be forgotten, and we will come to a position where we will be able to remember Krishna, understand Krishna, and that is real good. We all know that Prabhupada used to be so happy when a devotee would be very eager to hear him, because it is by hearing. Prabhupada himself said many a times that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarked that I was eager to hear. And in the same way, Prabhupada would be very happy when devotees would be around him and they were very eager to hear. So this is something that happened in Italy during Prabhupada's time in Rome. So this devotee, Dhananjaya Das, he is recollecting, Prabhupada was going for the first big public program in Italy. And this program was held in Hotel Parco di Principi. It was a 5-star hotel in a beautiful park called Villa Borghese. And this was basically, this hotel had a large auditorium, and this hotel was right in the heart of Rome. So it was a very big program. And this was a good big auditorium. It had a seating for about 500 people. So the devotees who had organized this program for Prabhupada, they were in a little bit of anxiety. They were thinking that what if only 25-30 people show up? Because once or twice it had happened in the New York when devotees had organized for a program, hardly anybody turned up and very few devotees had turned up. Those were the initial days when the movement had just begun. So when the devotee thought, what if 25-30 people turns up? It was like, he said, I was getting a terrible impression. What will Prabhupada think? And we'll not be able to show our face. So the program was in the evening, and whole day the devotee was busy with Prabhupada was busy along with all the devotees going to different places and doing different things. So they reached this venue, this hotel, in the evening when the program was just about to begin. And when Prabhupada reached there along with the devotees, the auditorium was dark. The lights were off, and they were showing the movie, The World of Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada was waiting outside along with the devotees in the side room, like we wait in the MVT in the green room. And after about 5 to 10 minutes, the organizers they called Srila Prabhupada that you can come on the stage and begin your talk. Prabhupada was supposed to give a talk. And then this devotee was constantly thinking, I don't know how many people are there inside the room because they were waiting outside. When we got onto the stage and the lights went up, I noticed, this devotee is recollecting, that every single seat had been taken. It was absolutely amazing. Then I noticed that there were people standing at the back of the hall. There were people down to the two sides of the hall. And there was even people sitting in the aisle. There were people sitting in the middle. And the whole hall was filled up. There was not an inch of space left in the hall. That much eager everyone was to hear Srila Prabhupada. And he says that although the auditorium had a capacity of 500, there must have been at least 800 people for that program. And then Prabhupada turned to this devotee and said, "Oh, these Italians, they are very interested in Krishna consciousness. They want to hear." So Prabhupada was very happy that this was the enthusiasm with which everybody had assembled to hear him. They want to hear. So after the kirtan, Prabhupada started speaking, and he had a translator also who was an Italian devotee, and Prabhupada spoke for about 45 minutes, and all of them were hearing. They were hearing attentively. And then Prabhupada asked for questions. And this devotee was again thinking, Prabhupada is asking for questions. How many will ask questions? And the moment Prabhupada asked questions, immediately there was a forest of arms that shot up. It was just amazing. There were hundreds of people wanting to ask a particular question. So Prabhupada turned to this devotee again and he said, "Oh, just see, they really want to understand. I am so happy that they have this enthusiasm for learning Krishna consciousness." So Prabhupada he gave a lecture for 45 minutes and he spent about an hour answering questions. And then they had kirtan, distributed prasadam, and then they went back to the temple. So this is the special Athato Brahma Jignasa. We should all be very eager to hear Prabhupada. Every day we must be hearing Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, "You will never feel my absence if you associate with me through my books." So Prabhupada's greatest contribution to the world are his books. So we should be so eager to hear his books. Prabhupada has written so many books. You can go on for the entire lifetime, you can read and you will still not finish it. So this is one thing that we must be all very eager every day, finding out time, reading, hearing, understanding. By this, our devotional bhakti lata will grow very quickly. So this is one thing we must not forget. Sometimes devotees become little slack in the reading because of different services, but reading must happen. We will please Prabhupada very much. Our Krishna consciousness will grow quickly, and by reading Prabhupada's books, we are directly associating with a pure devotee. So we'll end here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premananda.